Hello everyone, my name is Muhammad and I'm going to present our paper titled An Approach to Teach Accessibility with Gamification. Over the last years, accessibility has been gaining more recognition. Thus, there is a market demand for professionals skilled in accessibility. However, it is rare to find professionals with broad understanding of accessibility and with accessibility design skills. Therefore, there is a trend towards incorporating accessibility in computer science curricula. Furthermore, many approaches were presented in order to teach accessibility in the academy, and reports of success were found. However, mostly in imparting accessibility knowledge and skills, whereas many failed in the department of motivation and engagement. Moreover, gamification is a strong contender when it comes to engaging, motivating, and improving the student's performance using game design elements in non-game context. While a few studies dealt with training the professionals in the industry on accessibility through gamification, it has not been much explored to teach accessibility in the academy. Consequently, this work aims to address the identified opportunity and contribute with an accessibility teaching resource aimed at undergraduate computer science or software engineering students to be used as part of a web design course, thus promoting the development of accessible software. Following is the proposed approach, starting with the display of a few videos, introduction to web accessibility and standards, and some web accessibility perspectives videos. The second step is to give a quick overview of the WCAG principles and guidelines, version 2.1, and finally a gamified artifact with the simulation of scenarios of WCAG principles, situations of failures and techniques will be used to motivate and engage the students. As long as the users give the correct solution, they shall gain 10 points per situation accordingly, and the quiz shall increase its level as well. And right at the end of the quiz, the users will obtain a badge according to their earned points. The users will face situations and failures or bad accessibility scenarios, and they must first identify the principles and guidelines that they are facing and apply the correct solution to it. For example, text alternatives. An image will be displayed which will later disappear. Then the users will have to identify the current WCAG principle and guideline according to the situation that they are facing. Then the users should provide and apply an appropriate solution. Next, keyboard accessible. The users shall face a situation where the mouse device functionality will not be available in a long form, and they will have to fill and later submit it using only keyboards. Readable. The users will face many pages in a different language not known by them. They shall have to navigate through the pages and find a section where they will be able to change to a language that they prefer in order to understand the content. And input assistance. The users will face a form with 3 date inputs, each expecting a different date format. Providing the date format instructions, they must fill them accordingly and submit. Next, we'll have a look at our prototype. Access Academy aims to engage and motivate students into learning about accessibility at the academy through a gamification-based artifact, and it also promotes the development of accessible software. Therefore, a web-based prototype, was developed for a Mozambican university, hence it is in Portuguese. Access Academy is a quiz game based on the WCAG version 2.1 document. But before going to the quiz, the Access Academy familiarizes the students on the topic of accessibility with a series of videos created by W3C and afterwards it gives an overview of the WCAG 2.1 document. Once the students have familiarized themselves with the topic of accessibility, they can now move on with the quiz game, which is based on the situations, techniques, or failures found on the WCAG version 2.1 document. Here is the first situation. The page suddenly lost access to the image, and the user must identify the principle and guideline to which the situation belongs. If it's correct, he gets 5 points. Afterwards, the Access Academy asks him to provide an alternative text, which he does and submits, gains another 5 points, now 10, and he sees the result. The next situation, the quiz asks the student to listen carefully to the audio and identify the principle and guideline like the first situation. The audio is clearly missing some parts and a bit distorted. Hence the student first will choose the guideline and principle, and the quiz asks him or her to listen again to the audio, and this time to provide a transcription of the audio. So this time the audio is clear and the student can write a transcription and listen every word and write and submit. A new situation with 2 inputs and borders with the red color. The student will identify as well principle and guideline, distinguishable, and the quiz will ask the student or user to provide the validation message. Next situation, a form is displayed with 5 inputs and an instruction below. The mouse cursor is disabled. Fill and submit the form using only keyboard. And now the quiz asks to identify the principle and guideline of the situation the student just went through. Another situation where the student is asked to change the language of the content above to a language he understands. So finally the quiz shows a result page with students' acquired points and badge.
Gamification has gained a reputation for motivating and engaging participants in many fields, and education is one of them. However, gamification has not yet been explored to teach accessibility in the academy. Consequently, the proposed approach takes advantage of the effectiveness of gamification in order to provide a better solution to teach accessibility in the academy. Future work is in progress addressing the development of a prototype through a case study in a classroom, and also the evaluation of the approach where the students' progress will be measured through a pre- and post-test questionnaire. Thank you for your attention.